Good morning, friends. It's a Monday. Yay! I mentioned before that I'm rereading actually Made to Crave by Lysa Turkheurst. And part of her book, she has questions from a blog that her friend Karen writes. And her friend Karen had done everything right. You know, she was eating right, she was moving, she was doing all the things. And she only weighs herself once a week because, again, sometimes that self-worth comes from the scale. And she got on this particular, maybe a Monday, I don't know. And she had lost like 1 point something pounds, 1.8 pounds. She's like, really? I worked so hard and that's all I lost. But she, like Lisa, was making it more of a spiritual journey than tied to the scale and doing all those things. So she has some questions that I actually put in my notes on my phone. So I'm going to be reading them because I like them so much. And when I'm beating myself up, I'm trying to go back to these questions. So she says, did I overeat this week on any day? Nope. Did I move more and exercise regularly? Yes. Do I feel lighter than I did this time last week? Yes. That's the reason she thought the scale was going to move a little more. Did I eat in secret or out of anger or frustration? No. Did I feel that at any time I ran to food instead of to God? No. Before I hopped on the scale, did I think I'd had a successful, God pleasing week? Yes. And isn't that what happens? We're like, we worked so hard, we're sure we're going to see a result, and then we don't see the result we want. She said, you know what? If it's a journey and if I have to lose, we all have to. She's talking on her blog, 1.8 pounds a week, then that's what we're going to do. So, but I thought those questions were so important because it comes back to the heart of what we're doing and not tied to a number on a scale.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I really like them. I'm going to write them down for myself because I do think for two reasons. Now she was able to answer in the affirmative for all of those. That she
Yes.
did the things that she wanted. But you know what? Maybe I think for me, I think I'm doing everything right, but maybe if I really ask myself that question, the answer may not be, so it's like, oh, so maybe that's where I need to um, make better choices or make a different choice for today. And again, I weigh myself every morning. So I think those are great questions to ask before I step on the scale, because then I might have a more realistic expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps them top of mind. Am I really doing all these things? And then we've talked about that too. Keeping everything top of mind is where it really like how we make those changes. As I said, I don't struggle with food so much at this point, but I've been changing my eating habits for the better for over 20 years. So yeah. And what's still missing for me is the movement. So I read something the other day where even 35 minutes a day will make a difference. Okay. So there's no reason I can't find 35 minutes a day to do something. And again, then you average that over the week. So if you're doing what you need for the week, then maybe it's 35 minutes one day and an hour the next, just because that's how your schedule worked out. So anyway, just
Mm-hmm.
some things to think about.
Yeah. I like thinking about the questions before we get on the scale
Mm-hmm.
because it does keep it more mindful. And it, like you said, it could be that, oh, actually I didn't do that, or I, whatever. I
Yeah.
can't remember the questions off the top of my head. But that's okay. That's not a reason to beat ourselves up. That's just it's an awareness of like, oh, you know what? I forgot about that piece. I'll
Right.
try to put that piece in for this day or whenever you weigh yourself the next day. But I like that. I think that's really good. And that's
Yeah.
why they're in my phone so I can go back and remind myself, but I still wasn't, I like the everyday thing because I wasn't doing that. It was more like, well, if I feel frustrated or disappointed, I go look at it and see. Like, no, let's just keep that here all the time. Again, just as a awareness, nothing else.
Right.
We
Yeah,
do
we
enough
don't need
beating
to,
ourselves up.
no,
So
it's not
it's
about
not
beating
about that.
ourselves up. No, not at all. But the awareness, because the only way that we're able to make changes is when we're aware of them.
Right.
So that's
Yeah, we just, yeah, that's true. We do a lot on autopilot and we don't always think about things. Anyway, good. I like that.
me too. All right. Thanks for the questions, and we'll post them in the video as well,
Yes.
so that you can have them for yourselves as well. and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.